Hello and welcome to HiveState Bakugan. Today we're going to be talking about faction combos, but we're going to be doing it a little bit different than I originally planned. Instead of just talking about different factions and how they play together, I'm going to talk about different themes that you can kind of build around and how the different factions can affect it. Today's theme will be based around sacrifice and kind of getting rid of cards out of your hand. That may not all be discard abilities, but it's going to be ways that lowering your hand size will help. So first we need to look at the obvious combo, which is a mixture of Pyrus and Darkus. Now, there aren't too many cards in the game so far that can be played for free when they're discarded, but there are a couple, and they're pretty good, especially if you already have cards that deal with discard. So really, you can just get some nice bonus effects off of your cards. Pyrus is a great way to help out with the situation as well. Let's look at the card Sifting Ashes for an example. If something happened to where you had Sifting Ashes and 2 of the free play when discarded cards in your hand, well, technically for 1 mana, you can play 2 cards for free and draw 2 cards. So that's wonderful. In theory, you could get a turn 1 evolution this way, which is just crazy. Granted, getting this turn 1 would definitely just be luck and not something to base a deck around unless we get more free play discard cards. But as for right now, it's just a nice little bonus off of Sifting Ashes. Or we could actually look at this same scenario with a different card. Let's look at Titan Mantanoid Ultra. If this card is on the field, or the one that's attacking whenever you play Sifting Ashes, well, even if you don't get any of the discard effects off the 2 you have to discard, that's an extra 800 B power to Mantanoid Ultra for that 1 little energy, plus you're still getting the 2 cards. Really good combo. Another faction I really like in the discard matters kind of setup for this game is Aquas, but not necessarily for the discarding abilities, but for the draw half of it. Whenever you're discarding things, you're going to want more cards in hand, so Aquas is great for that. Mind Flood is a flip card that kind of comes to mind. Let's put up a scenario. Let's say that you played Mind Flood, and now you have like 10 cards in hand. Well, with the rules of Bakugan, at the end of your turn, you have to discard down to 7 cards. That's your max hand size. Well, if you get lucky enough and pull maybe a China Riot, something like that. So normally, you just discard down to your 7, and it lets you tailor your hand to set up what you want for later turns. But in this kind of setup, well, now you might have a chance to ditch some cards to get some free plays, which is, it's a beautiful little after effect. There aren't as many that you could do this way, but it's still helpful. For this specific one, we really do need some more cards that are able to be played just for free by discarding, but hey, we'll take a bonus when we can get them, right? Another benefit I'd like to get on real quick is not so much discarding cards, but not having cards in hand. This will start activating Fury for your Pyrus cards if you're mixing Pyrus and Darkus. And, well, there's a couple ways that you can get there. One of my favorites, however, is still in the Pyrus faction, and that is Syndious Stand. Basically, what this card lets you do is you can return any number of cards from your hand back to your deck, and you get 1 extra point of damage for every card returned that way. Which, you're shrinking your hand size. If you get it down low enough, you can get it to where you're getting your Fury effects, and also, you're, in a way, healing yourself. If you're keeping flip cards in your hand, you can put those back in your deck to maybe stop some damage later. So, really solid. But we're talking about mixing factions, so a Darkus way to whittle your hand down for the Pyrus Fury effect would be Night Lightning. This card lets you draw a card to start, so you never know, you might hit another Fury card that you can pay for. But it allows you to just discard cards out of your hand, as many as you want, and for each one that you discard, you get 3 additional damage. And the fact we're discarding also lets your discard ability come into play. So it can be win-win if you're using them just right. And that's actually where I'm going to end this little faction combo video for slimming down your hand and getting bonuses for it. This one was mostly just Pyrus and Darkus with a splash of Aquas, pun intended. But if you'd like to see more like this, where I'm focusing on a style and talking about how different attributes mix towards it, make sure and let me know. I enjoyed doing this one, and I think I'm going to do more. But in saying that, if you want to make sure and stick around, there will be a new video coming in just a few days. So, if you want anything and everything Bakugan, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. But whether you do or whether you don't, you'll see me when you see me.